All right, you guys, welcome to our Next Level Nation team call. Thanks for hopping on today. So, Mandy is going to talk to us today about Success Club. And before I introduce her, I just wanted to do a little bit of recognition stuff for you guys because we've had some cool stuff going on. 1 second, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so there we go. All right, so this is our team call. Just wanted to congratulate everybody who is already in Success Club. Mandy is at 22, which is why she is obviously speaking on this call today, because she's made some really awesome progress in her business and she is on a roll, and she has a lot of really great nuggets she's going to share with us today about Success Club because she's having a lot of success. Melissa is at 12, I'm at 11, and then we have Crystal with 9, Amanda with 9, Taylor, brand new coach, with 8, Leanne with 8, Courtney with 7, Kirsten with 6, and Elizabeth with 5. So that is awesome. There's a ton of people that are on deck. Like, you guys are all, if you're on that board, you guys are super, super close, and we've still got plenty of time to reach your goal. And so make sure that you're taking notes today. Make sure that you're listening to what Mandy has to share, because she really has got this thing nailed down and she knows what she's doing as far as inspiring people to actually take action. All right, so we also had our top 10 this week. So these are the top 10 volume producers on our team for the last week. So volume is really important. And volume is what's going to drive your income, which is, it means you're retaining customers. It means that you're probably hitting Success Club every single month. You're doing a good job helping people stay on track. And that's why they're continuing with their Shakeology or with their programs or whatever you have them on. So our top 10 are Crystal, Courtney, Casey, Carrie, Melissa, Amy, Elizabeth, Amanda, Tabitha, and Melissa. You guys will probably notice that a lot of the people on that board were on the Success Club board as well. And that's just another indicator that they're doing the right activities in their business to produce that volume as well as the Success Club points, and they really do go hand in hand. All right, our Diamond of the Week last week, thank you to Melissa for sharing some awesome tips with us on our team page. Melissa, if you guys missed that, Melissa went live a few times last week on our team page to just share some really awesome tips with you guys. And she just really added a ton of value. And I hope you guys go back, find her videos, and watch them, because they were amazing, amazing tips, especially for newer coaches. Even if you've been a coach for a while, Melissa's had a lot of success in her business. She's a 2-star diamond, SC10 all-star, and she really has a lot of great value to share with you guys. So if you missed that last week, go back, check out her videos. And then we just wanted to welcome our new coaches. So these are all our new coaches in the past 2 weeks, I believe, or it might be just the past week. I'm not sure what all we put on here, but welcome. If any of you guys are on the call, we're excited that you're here and ready to learn with us. So with that being said, I am going to stop sharing my screen and I am going to introduce Mandy. So like I said, Mandy is a diamond coach. She started with us back in December. She came to me just really, sorry guys. Trying to call me. Okay. She started with me back in December. She just came really needing a solution for her health and fitness, and I'm sure she'll tell you more about her story, but she was just kind of in a bad place. She had tried a lot of different things. Nothing was working for her, and so she decided she wanted to give Beachbody a try. She started seeing results. She was one of those challengers that she signed up as a discount coach only in the beginning. And, kind of seeing, well, if it works, maybe I'll do something with it. And she would check in with me almost every day. She was very consistent with her workouts, with her nutrition. Like, she wanted to make this work so bad. You could tell she had the desire to get the results, and she knew Beachbody could help her. And so she is going to share more of that, but she's had incredible results with the products, with the programs. I would probably say, is a lifer with Beachbody, because it's one of the only things that really worked for her. And so, like I said, started as a discount coach and realized that people were asking her questions about it. Excuse me. And so she went all in. She said, I'm going to give this coaching thing a try. And she is now, she went diamond in like 90 days. I think that's right, Mandy, right? And she has Success Club 22. So I think she's only missed 1 month in Success Club. She was having, just life issues like everybody has, and that's okay. So I always tell everybody, don't be so hard on yourself. Come back the next month with vengeance. And that's exactly what she's done. And she is killing her business and made some awesome changes. So without further ado, Mandy, I'm going to kick it over to you, girl.
Okay. Hey guys. So I'm going to see if this will do right. I've never, let's see, desktop. Wait. Can y'all see that? Okay. All right. So I'm just going to share a few things that I've done that have helped me. I apologize. I have not done PowerPoint since high school. In college, I always pawned that off on somebody else. So y'all excuse the simplicity of my PowerPoint. But a little bit about me. I'm a Christian, mom of 2. I have a 6-year-old daughter and one that just turned 1 on September 6th. I actually signed at the end of November as a discount coach, but I did not get my products in and actually start the 21-day fix until December. And I sold my first challenge pack December 28th with literally no work whatsoever. A friend of mine was getting married and they messed up on her dress and it was too small. So she had seen my results and contacted me, wanted to know what I was doing, and she immediately just signed up as a coach. And then my sister followed right after her on the 30th. So I was just kind of like, okay, well, maybe I can do this. So I really actually started actively coaching in January. Programs I've done, 21-day fix, fix extreme, 22-minute hardcore, hammer and chisel, country heat, and I'm currently on Insanity Max 30. So social media, I don't know how many of you guys were at Summit, but they talked a lot about branding yourself and things that you're posting. I did not do very well with my social media posts in the beginning. They were horrible. They were cookie cutter, just like everybody else's that you see. Just, hey, come join my challenge group. It's a lot of fun. And, they weren't very inspiring. And I was one of those that I was like, I am not about to pour my heart out on social media. It's nobody's business what I've been through. It's nobody's business what my family's been through. And I just didn't want to do that. I just did not want to do it. And then after Summit, I just kind of started rewriting my notes from Summit, and I started thinking about it, and I just decided that I was going to little by little step out of my comfort zone. And guys, it is the best thing that you can do for your business. If you're in that spot where you're in a box, you need to step out and you need to do it now. I sat down and I wrote down a timeline of my life. I mean, not like literally from the day I took my first breath till now, because that's 31 years worth of junk. But the life-changing events that happened, my list kind of looked like this. I was overweight as a kid. I was made fun of at school. I hated school. I was a good student. Both my parents were teachers and everything. And I was an A student and I did well, but I hated the social aspect of school. I have naturally curly hair. My mom did not know how to style hair. I had an afro. I was made fun of for that. My weight, it was just, that was a hard experience for me. I got married at 19. It was a very abusive relationship. That person introduced me to drugs. He, belittled everything about me. I was told that I would never find anyone else that would take me. It was a very, very, very physically and emotionally abusive relationship. I'd been dating him since I was 16 and finally, got my wits about me, and divorced at 20. By that time I was bulimic. I battled bulimia for 7 years, actually went into a rehab, for 90 days, and it helped a lot. And I don't know, graduated college, got married, and married my husband that I'm married to now. I was pregnant when we got married. We struggled very hard through our marriage, and a lot of it had to do with me. I had no self-esteem. I had no core, confidence in who I was. I didn't love myself, and therefore I couldn't love my family. I couldn't be confident in the person that I was.
Hey, Mandy, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody else got this, but you completely cut out.
Is that better? Can you hear background noises?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, where did I leave off at?
You left off, you were talking about you and your hubby now had some struggles.
Okay. All right. So anyway, so I made that timeline. Just sit down and write it out. What were the hard parts? What were challenging? What made you want to change? How did you feel? How did you make your family feel? I made my family feel pretty crappy at times, especially my husband. And those are the out of your comfort zone steps that you need to take. Biggest thing, if your post doesn't make you want, if you're sitting there and you're writing out, a Transformation Tuesday or a Throwback Thursday, and I'm just picking those because those are the two that work the best for me. If your post doesn't make you want to vomit or cry because you're fixing to either it was so heartbreaking or you're just so nervous and scared to put that out there, then you need to dig a little deeper. Every single one that I have done on those 2 days have either made me extremely nervous or I've sat there crying over my computer writing them out. And I'm going to give you some examples. So this was a Throwback Thursday post that I did. I hope you guys can read it. This was a recent one, and I'll show you the picture in just a minute, but I'm basically telling that, my marriage sucked for the first 2 years. I'm basically, I'm throwing that out there. And it's hard because it involves more than just me, but I didn't say anything in this post that my husband would not 100% agree with. I went through all of it, and it's very sad to be a bride and hate the picture of you on your wedding day. And I literally hate this picture. And I'll show it to you now. This is the picture. The one on the left is me on my wedding day. I hate that picture. I don't ever want to see that picture again. And I had to dig through to find it. And it's just, a comparison of where we started to where we are now. Now, this necessarily doesn't have anything to do directly with Beachbody, but you don't want Beachbody screaming throughout every single one of your posts. I hardly mention Beachbody in my post. I mention coaching, I mention health and fitness, I mention emotional transformations, but I very rarely throw that Beachbody word out there. And pictures are very important. You need to go through, pick the pictures that mean the most to you and that really can share part of your story. The next one, this is a Throwback Thursday. And I did this differently. I did a letter to myself as if I was writing back to the Mandy of 2009. And this was my letter to that Mandy from the Mandy that's sitting here now. And this post right here blew it out the water. It was absolutely amazing. I think I had over 250 likes, not to mention just an amazing amount of comments and support. So, this was talking about my story, when I was going to rehab, what I had lost, what I had been through. And it was just telling me, to keep going. And then this is the picture that I used. This picture, the 2009 picture, was actually taken the day before it was taken the day before I checked into rehab. And then this one is the 2016 picture. So the picture on the left really has, as you can see, I'm skinny in this picture. I mean, but there's a difference between the two. Skinny is not necessarily healthy, and I say that to myself in my letter. And that picture really is a significant part of my life. So this one was my other one that did just amazing. It was just a Transformation Tuesday. And this is one that I do mention Beachbody in. And I do kind of talk about, what I've lost, inches, this and that, and whatever. But you'll see, I kind of talk about my first marriage and how that dwindled, my confidence and my self-esteem. And I talk about my eating disorder. I talk about how fake I was. And, how I almost lost my daughter in this, the marriage that I'm in now, and what it has done, what has happened that has changed me. And I even say, even though I'm ecstatic about scale numbers, fat loss, and all of that, the real gratitude is finding myself and my worth. And then these are the pictures that I used in it. And guys, I have a friend that just kind of does photography is her hobby. If you have a friend that's like that, get them to come take pictures of you. They mean so much. I could have never, the picture on the right with the yoga pose, I could have never done that by myself. And the picture on the left, we were talking about transformations and my results. The picture on the left was taken the week before I actually started 21 Day Fix. And then the one on the right, and both of them were taken in August. So, I mean, people see that and they want that. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're willing to put the work in for it, but it opens the door for that want. So that's what I mean by your pictures being very important. Jackie, she asked me to share some scripts and stuff, and I'm not really good at sharing that, but this is what my cold invite looks like. It's the top one, and it's just a basic, hey, so-and-so, how are you? I hope you're doing well. And, kind of go through their page and see, oh, I see that you've been doing, you've been on vacation, or that your kiddo just started school or whatever. How's all that going? And then I go into, I'm not sure if this would interest you, but I have this coming up and I wanted to invite you, and yada, yada, yada. And then the bottom one is the continued convo. So, when you reach out to someone and you start that conversation, I usually let it run for a few days. And then I tell them, hey, I was thinking about you and I would love to have you in my next fitness support group. I stopped calling it a challenge group because most people don't understand what that is. They don't understand the value of the support and the accountability that you get in these groups. So those are pretty much the ones that I use. My closing. It happens several different ways. You know, explaining the benefits is the number one thing. You know, a lot of people come back with, I don't have time, I'm not that dedicated, or I don't know if I could stick with it. And that's when you come in and you tell them, okay, well, I understand that. I've been there, done that, but that's why you're in this group. You know, you have check-ins. It's one-on-one with me. And I tell them, I'll check in with you as many times as you want me to. If you need once a day, then we'll check in once a day. If you need once a week, then we'll check in once a week. If you need to send me what you are eating every single day, then we'll do that. So, you know, I always send them, you know, a thing. I'm like, well, what are your goals? Are you wanting to lose weight? Are you wanting to tone muscle? Are you wanting to build muscle? I ask them what their struggles are. What do you struggle with the most? Is it getting up and getting the workout in? Is it your nutrition? Is it being able to stay on track and not get bored with something? Because those questions, if someone is worried about getting bored with the program, then you know that you need to give them a program that there's a different workout every day. I mean, like Fixed Extreme and 21-Day Fix. You know, it's hard to get bored with those, because even though you're doing for 3 weeks the same week of workouts, every single day you're doing something different. So that's going to help you figure out what's going to work best for them, along with, you know, have you been doing anything lately? Or, you know, what are you just wanting to lose weight? Do you have any injuries? You know, those are all things that you need to be asking. And while you're asking these, you don't want to ask it all in one message. I mean, just start leading off a little bit at a time and let them respond back to you, and then keep it going, because if you don't, you're going to word vomit all over them, and that's just, a lot of people don't like that. You know, I do have some people that have messaged me and said, hey, give me the gist. I don't care if it's a lot of information, just give me all the information you have. And, you know, I will, because that's their preference, but most people aren't like that. So you're explaining everything to them, and the more you ask questions and the more you give them answers, the more that they see that, hey, she might actually know what she's talking about or what she's doing. And then you just close it. You just tell them, this is what this is what you have to have. You have to have a challenge pack. This is what comes in it. These are the 2 programs that I think would be the best for you. If you want a video on them, I can send it to you, and, you know, go from there and just close it. Send them the link, tell them that they, you know, need to sign up. And then if you've sent them a link and it's been a couple days, check back in with them. And just keep on checking back in, because eventually, you know, it may not be right then, but, you know, eventually it will come through. You just have to be patient on that. And that's another thing, just to, circle back. And actually, never mind. I'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so going live. I was not a fan of going live. I couldn't even record a video on my phone without having to stop and delete it 6 times before it actually recorded the way I wanted it to. So going live was not something I was comfortable with. But I go live at least once every single day. My personal development is my Bible study in the morning, and I go live. Like, I do it, and then I go live with basically a summary of what it's talking about. You'll feel ridiculous. You'll stumble over your words. You'll say, and, you know, and I have seen, going back and watching my videos, I tug at my ear. Like, that's one of my tics. I tug at my left ear a lot. So you're going to do that. But in the process of doing that, you're showing people the real you. Like I said, I do, you know, I go through and do my PD live, my Bible study is live. I'm doing a workout video diary with one of my other coaches. We both started Insanity Max 30. It was not yesterday, but the Monday before. And we record it. We do an intro. We record part of the workout, and then we record at the end and give our max time. You will have to kind of play and see what times work best, because that's kind of what we're doing now. We're posting at different times and seeing how many views it has, but we post those videos every single day, and that's part of our accountability. And even, you know, Casey's one of my coaches, and she was like, you know, sometimes I hate that I agreed to do this with you because I didn't want to get up and do Tabata this morning. And I'm like, well, you know, you have to, because all, you know, we've told these people we're going to post our workouts all, you know, all the time. So do that, make that more of, you know, get more comfortable with it and start doing it, because you'll be surprised who actually, you know, pops into those live videos. So the steps that I took, Jackie talked a little bit about my 1 month that I did not hit Success Club, and it was a very bad month. It was July. I was ready to quit. I had some coaches that quit on me. I was very discouraged. We were having a lot of issues with my oldest daughter. My husband was gone. He wasn't home. He was in Savannah working, so I had both kids by myself, and I was just literally stressed out. I wasn't having time. I didn't do my PD. I got my workouts in, but that was pretty much it. I didn't message anyone. I didn't, and I went back and forth about 3 times, Jackie, maybe, about going to Summit. I don't know, at least twice. I think it was 3. And then I just decided, okay, you know, I'm going to go. I need a break from the kids anyway. So I went, and that got my fire back. You know, it was a lot of good information. It was, I was just in a very I was in a slump. I felt like I was in a hole, and I was ready to quit. I was tired, you know, tired of spending money on this and this and that and whatever. And, you know, just not giving it the time that my business needed to be able to grow. So I went to Summit, and then I came back, and I hit August hard, and I, you know, hit Success Club August, and then this month, and I'm just like, I'm kicking myself because, you know, now I'm starting over with All Star. I mean, it's just like, now I've started over where I was already 6 months in, you know. So it just sucks, because I just threw that away. But the biggest part of that is, and we say it all the time, is personal development, personal development, personal development. Like I said, I'm a Christian. I was not getting God time, which I needed. So I do a Bible study in the morning, and I go live and discuss it, and then I do a business PD at night. Something that Bible studies are great for personal development, but for your business, for you to keep your mind in that forward motion of where you're going to keep pushing and keep pushing, you've got to have a personal development that is going to, you know, guard your mind against the naysayers and actually help you to push to your business. So I do twice a day. Weekends, sometimes I do more, because I am, you know, I have a little bit more time, but I do, you know, like I said, the God time in the morning, and then at night I do the personal, you know, the business side, personal development, the 10X rule, compound effects, girl code, any of those, like those are the business side. I take notes on them, because in my opinion, if you're just reading it and you aren't, you know, you're not going to read a whole book and remember all the points that you highlighted in it. Whereas if you have a notebook and you have it labeled of which ones, you know, this is my notebook, and I have the book that I'm reading, and anything, when I finish a chapter, I go back and I write down everything that I highlighted and all the points that I want to remember, because that way it's all there. I don't have to go flipping back through. I don't have to worry, you know, I might have to flip through this, but it's all, you know, it's labeled and it's right there. It does you no good to read a book for personal development to grow your business and grow your mind if you just read it and then you don't remember what it says and you don't apply it. That does you no good. Power hour. Nobody loves it. I hate it. It's the worst part of my day. I would rather do laundry than doing a power hour. And I hate laundry. But but you have to do it. You have to check in on those challengers. You have to invite. You have to start your convos. You have to do your research. You have to do that hour. The easiest thing to do is just sit down and get it done. Sit down and get it done, and then you're done with it. Then the more you procrastinate on it throughout the day, the easier it's going to be to say, I don't feel like doing that. It's the same thing as your workouts. You have to know your time of the day. I know that if I don't do my workout by 11 o'clock, it's not going to get done because I'm busy. I've got one in school, the other one, and by the time, the baby's in bed and we're done with homework or whatever at 7 o'clock, I'm not sitting down and doing a workout. You're not going to sit down and do a power hour at 8 o'clock at night. I was telling Kaylin earlier, I'm like, can you send me notes on Josh Coates' call? Because my time, it started at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock's my bedtime. I was not staying up for that call. I absolutely 100% knew that I was not going to stay up for that call because that's not in my schedule. If I'm going to get up and get my power hour done, I have to stay on my schedule, and that wasn't part of it. I would much rather watch the video later. So, you may have to make changes and push things around to fit that, but you have to get that power hour in. We talked about this at Summit too. I don't know how many of you were in this training, and I can't honestly even remember which one it was in, but it was talking about, was it Bonnie and Amy, maybe? I think, maybe, I don't know. Talking about being real, and they even said, once you get your groove, stop following those coaches that you admire because that's not you. So don't be a fake persona. And I don't mean to say in this next part that if you're wanting to be a better person, don't follow that and be that whatever, be that for you. But if there's another coach or someone out there and you're like, okay, just for example, Lindsay, oh, I want to be like Lindsay. I want to be Lindsay. I want to be Lindsay. Don't do that because you're not Lindsay. Lindsay has a completely different personality than you do. And people are going to know that. And this for the next part relates to me. My friends, people that know me, and even can get this from my posts, and people that have been watching and following me, I cuss and scream at the TV on football days. Saturday and Sunday, college football, especially last week. That's me. We're big football people, and we lose our minds on football day. If my team, LSU, Saturday night, I don't know how many of y'all watch football, but it was horrible. Anyway, I can't be over here posting sunshines and rainbows when that's going on because people are that's not me. That's just not who I am. And you can only get that far so long. You're going to attract the wrong people. You're going to attract the people that are thinking that you're something that you're not. And it's not fair to them, and it's not fair to you because you've wasted your time on them and they've wasted their time on you. It's the finding your tribe. It's the, and it took me a long time to be okay with saying, hey, you know what? I just don't think that I'm going to work well with that person. I mean, that's okay because you're being honest with yourself and you're being honest with them and you're not wasting anyone's time. So especially with people that watch, you will be surprised how much people watch. I have people that are reaching out without me really even going back and saying anything to them that have been watching me since January. People that I don't even know, I didn't even know that they were reading my posts. They never said anything. They never liked anything. They never commented on anything, but they're watching. And so many people, especially this past month, have said, I love how real you are. Like, you are real and you don't apologize for it. And that's a big deal, so that's part of finding your tribe and finding those people that you're going to work with. So this is what I do. I start out my month hard. I do not want to be on the 25th of the month and be at, and please don't take offense to anybody that is here, but this is just me. On the 28th of the month, I don't want to be at SC0. I do not want to be up until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning messaging people, scrounging around, trying to get people to get challenge packs. I start my months out hard. I double up with my messages. If I'm sending 10 messages a day normally, I'm going to send 30 because I want those points and I want them as fast as possible. Put thoughts into your posts. If you start out early and you start out, with your messages and putting, thoughts into your post. Here's the deal, okay? Jackie asked me to say, she asked me, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm really and truly, I'm not doing anything different other than I am making good posts. People saw my transformation pictures, and right off the bat, I sold 5 challenge packs that week. They saw my letter for Throwback Thursday the next week. I sold 5 that week. And it's not, it's a lot of them that, I think half of my challengers that I have this month are ones that I talked to back in January, February and weren't interested. And then they got back with me. So if you put thought into your posts and you make them real and raw and emotional, where people, I had so many people say they read that letter and they're like, oh my God, you have me crying. That's what you want. You want people to read your post and you want them to have that gut-wrenching feeling that you had when you wrote it. And that's not only going to make them trust you and want to, have the clarity that you have now. And it's just attractive. Even the one, my marriage post, Justin and I separated twice. We were in a bad, we were both fighting, over Audrey. We had filed for divorce and all this stuff. And then, God just worked his way with us, and we ended up where we are now. And it was a lot of hard work, and we worked really, really hard, and we did things, and, not saying that anything is perfect, but we did counseling. We did, things through the church. I mean, we worked very, very hard. Things that we both, your love language, we're not on the same page. His is respect and mine is acts of service. And those are totally different. So we had to rethink how we interacted with each other. And people thought we were crazy. They're like, oh my God, y'all are like on again, off again, on again, off again, pick something. But now that that's been 3 years ago and I put that out there, people are like, they get it, and they appreciate, even if they don't buy anything. It's the appreciation that you put it out there, and they're going to start watching you. And it may not be today. It may not be tomorrow. It may not be a year from now. It may be 18 months down the road. But once you get them start watching you and listening to you, they're going to get there. You just have to give them patience. Follow up with old people from months ago. I started following up with people from back in January that had told me no. Started messaging them, I didn't realize how many messages I had put out until I started scrolling through it. I'm like, oh my Lord. But follow up with those people. Friend more people. If you're friending 5 a day, when the month starts, friend 10. Start more combos. If you're starting 6 conversations a day, do 15, do more, double up your efforts so that you can hit Success Club, and then you're not stressed about it, because then you can work on finding your coaches that are going to build your business. Then you're going to work on, then you can work on, getting to that next level of what you want to do. And you can't do that if you're struggling and procrastinating Success Club all month long. You know, hit it fast, and then start working on your coaches, start working on your posts, start working on, you know, how to make your pictures more attractive, that kind of thing. And it takes the stress away. Uh-oh, what did I do? Sorry, y'all. Okay, so things you don't want to do. And I learned this the hard way. Compound Effect says garbage in, garbage out. I had to sit down and take an honest inventory of every aspect of my life, my friends, those people that surrounded me, activities that I was involved in, things that I was struggling with. And you have to pick out the ones that don't need to be there, and decide which ones you can live without, if that makes any, it probably will in just a minute. Those who surround you, the people you surround yourself with, they will make you or they will break you. If you can't recognize negative and toxic people to deal with them, it will take a toll on you. And I'll be 100% honest, that's one of the things that happened to me in July. I had a friend that I had to part ways with her. I parted ways with her after I got back from Summit, because it was just, she was negative about my business. I was not in the same place. I'm not in the same place in my life that she is in hers. And there was no positivity or positive aspect that could have came out of that friendship. And, you know, it sucks and it's hard and it's sad to a point, but you have to part ways with those type of people. Because if you don't, you'll be like me. And August, I spent August trying to recoup everything that I had lost in July. Family, and this is even harder. You have to decide with family members that you have to deal with and the ones that you don't. My mother-in-law and I do not get along. She stresses me out. She brings out this person in me that I don't like. I say the meanest and ugliest things, in areas that she's involved with. And my husband and I know she and I don't get along. I don't get along with her husband. And I finally had to come to the conclusion that, you know what, I don't have to deal with you. You are not my mom. This is not even, my husband's real dad. I don't have to deal with them. He can deal with them. I deal with my mom and my side of the family. He can deal with them. I had to make that distinction. And I had to tell him, I'm not dealing with it. I'm sorry. I'm just not. And I don't have to. I have to deal with my mom. She's my mom. I'm not going to deal with yours. And that involves everyone, brother-in-laws, sister-in-laws. Not saying you have to completely cut them out, but if you know that they don't bring out something good in you, then at least limit your time with them. I'll limit mine holidays. That's it. Holidays. That's it. And I kind of try to maneuver ways to get around that, but that's a whole different story. But find your limit and draw your boundary line and keep it there, because your mindset, if you have a crappy mindset, you're going to have a crappy business. You're going to have horrible posts. They're going to have a negative vibe to them, and it's going to just snowball into this big effect that's going to set you back. Another thing, what are you spending your time doing? This is another thing of your inventory. What are you spending your time doing? Are you at the neighborhood pool 4 days a week, drinking and having a good time with your friends? Not only did you, let's say, are you there, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Okay, well, not only did you lose those 3 days, but you're going to feel like crap on Monday, so now you've lost 4 instead of 3. Are you stretching yourself too thin? Are you doing too many things? Are you volunteering for every little thing at the school? Are you volunteering for every little thing at church? What are you spending your time doing? What do you need to do to get your work done? This is going to be trial and error. This was trial and error for me, and I finally figured out I get most of my work done and my best work done first thing in the morning before anybody else gets up. Because when kids get up, husband gets up, school happens, even when the baby goes down for a nap, which is a couple of hours, I have this feeling of I have to get stuff ready for dinner. I have to get laundry done. I have to get the house clean. You know, you have to find what works for you. What works for me is I get up at 4 a.m. I have my cup of coffee. It is totally silent in this house, and I absolutely love it because I don't get it very often. It's quiet. No one's around. No one's asking me any questions. I do my Bible study, and then I start working. That may not work for you. Some people do better at night after everyone goes to bed. I don't, because I'm tired and I want to go to bed, you know, when everybody else does. And it's, you know, some people can put their kids to bed and then do their work. I can't, because my husband's here and he's watching TV or football or whatever, and I can't concentrate. So my best thing is first thing in the morning. So find out when that is for you and make it work. If you have to get up earlier, it's gonna suck for the first couple of weeks, but after that, it's like clockwork. Even on the weekends, I'm up at 5 o'clock. I mean, so that's why I go to bed at, you know, 8 o'clock, and I wasn't staying up for that call last night. Find out what you're struggling with, own it, and reach out. There are so many coaches on this team that will help you. If no one can read your mind, if you are struggling with posts and you don't know if your content is good, reach out to someone to review it. Nobody knows what you're struggling with in your business and with your challenges if you don't say something or ask. So, you know, don't give excuses for why, whatever. Own that that's happening and own that you're struggling with it and reach out. And we had talked about at Summit, I keep mentioning Summit, but there was so much. If you didn't go, you need to go, because number one, we're in the Big Easy, like New Orleans is my town. Okay. Number two, you're going to learn so much and it's going to help you. We had learned, I think it was Bonnie and Amy again, they were talking about your page. When people see your page, what are your 5 things, you know? And we kind of went around and asked Jackie at our, you know, team dinner at the house, what would our 5 things be? And for me, she didn't say my faith. And it kind of hurt my feelings, not saying, sorry, Jackie, but it kind of hurt my feelings, but it also told me that I'm not putting that out there. I can't expect people to believe it if it's not out there. That's why I want God to be first in my business. That's me. I want to do it to glorify Him. And for someone to say that they don't see that in me, then I got to change something. So that's why I picked a Bible study. I started it. I've stuck with it. And I talk about it. Anyone that goes to my page knows my beliefs, and they know what, you know, I stand for. And, you know, if people don't agree with it, that's okay, because they're probably not they're not my tribe. You know, they're not my people. So don't be afraid to put those things out there. If you look down my page, you know, my faith is one, which, you know, I've changed. I coach a youth cheer squad. That is, you know, that's on there. My kids are on there. People know my fitness journey is on there. So people know that I'm a coach. They know that I'm, you know, on a journey. And they know that I like football. They know that I am a Southern girl and I like football, and that's on there. You know, all of those things are on there. So people should be able to look through your page and know exactly, you know, and be able to graft this image of you in their mind to feel like to see if they're going to jive with you. And I've gotten to the point that I don't, things that I believe in and that I stand for, I don't mind putting that out there. I talk about the whole national anthem football thing, not all the time, but I put that out there because that's part of my belief. And if someone has a different opinion, then oh well, they don't, it's not, they don't have to look. It's kind of you have to gut check yourself and figure out what you want other people to know, because what you throw out there is what you're going to attract. So if you're throwing out the wrong things and things that aren't you and things that you don't stand for, those are the people that you're going to attract, and it's not going to work. They're not going to be happy customers. Most importantly, they're not going to have results because they're not going to vibe with you. If you have people that are on in your challenge groups that aren't vibing with you, that depletes their motivation completely. It just drains it. And I know because I've had that happen. I've had people that did not have success because I wasn't the right coach for them. So I'm not saying, be picky. It's a fine line of being, I know you don't want to turn away those people, but in the long run, that might be, you never know what it'll run into. And it's that boundary that you kind of have to figure out and you kind of have to go with. So that's all I have.
That was great, Mandy. There were so many good nuggets that you shared. If anybody has questions, can you just stop sharing your screen so we can?
How do I do that?
Just hit that same button, or I think it's the same button. So
okay, hold on.
Sharing screen. It'll be either at the top or the bottom.
I can't. All I see is you now. What did I do wrong? Can you still see my screen? Okay, there we go.
All right. Yeah, there were so many awesome nuggets that you shared, and I think if anybody has questions, feel free to pop them in the chat right away, and we can answer questions for you guys. But I think so Mandy and I are both doing this Josh Coates training, The Art of Recruiting, and since Summit and since her being in that group, and I hope you don't mind me saying this, Mandy, but Summit was huge. Live events are a ginormous part of this business, huge part of this business. And that's what helped Mandy overcome her struggles, overcome her confidence. And that's just what I perceived, obviously, as her coach. But then being able to invest in herself and her personal development, starting her Bible study. And I'm glad that I hurt your feelings at Summit because, and I didn't do it purposely, obviously, but
no, I know.
It made you go, well, I want people to know that about me. You know what I mean? I want that people to know that that's a part of my life. And I want to attract people that that are passionate about the same things I am. So by her, just investing in herself. So investing in the art of recruiting, investing in, going to Summit, investing in her personal development, taking the time to do that Bible study every single day, to do the extra personal development at night. Mandy has been working so hard on herself, and that right there is why her business has just completely exploded. And in my opinion, that's where it all starts. You have to focus first on and just putting that time into yourself, investing in yourself. And that's going to give you the confidence to go out there and make posts like that are really emotionally connecting to people. Because that's what's going to move people to want to work with you, to buy a challenge pack, to join your challenge group. That's how you're going to help people, is by emotionally connecting with them through your posts, through those Transformation Tuesday posts. Even if you don't have a huge physical transformation story, it's not about that. Even in Mandy's post, she said, she talks more about the internal transformations than she does the external transformations. Obviously, the pictures are huge, but it's more about where she was and where she's going, or where she's, gotten herself to. And it's so much more internal that really moves people versus the external. So that was really awesome, and awesome takeaways. So let's see if we have questions. Okay. So Kaylin says, I'm at SC0, Mandy. As you know, this month has been super hard for me mentally and emotionally. What is your best tip for me to hit at least SC5 this month.
That's why I said I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings, because I talked to Kaylin earlier. I mean, what's today? The 27th? So you've got 4 days. So, I mean, you take the tips that I gave you at the first of the month and do it. Go back to when go back 6 months, go back to February, go back to January, follow up with those people, double up. That's the best advice I can give you. And, today's Transformation Tuesday. Find your worst picture and your best picture. Find the picture of you at your worst, not necessarily physically, but emotionally, wherever you're at in that point in life, and post it with what you are now. Spend some time just making a gut-wrenching post. Thursday's Throwback Thursday, do the same exact thing. And just message more people. I mean, just message more, and I know with Eden and a baby, it's hard because you have to be able to function as a mom. But if you can grab an extra 30 minutes, have your husband or somebody or whatever do it, then watch her, then that'll give you some extra time. Make the most out of your time. Turn everything off. Don't, put your phone up, put everything off, and just focus on the messaging. Because at this point, your new combos aren't going to really get you anywhere, because you got to build that up. So you need cold invite people and follow up people. So that's what I would do, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, and definitely, like, Mandy does the Transformation Tuesday, Throwback Thursday every single week, you guys. This is not just once a month or something like that. She is being so consistent with her posts. She is getting deep and emotional with people, connecting with people at least twice a week. Okay, so people are seeing that over and over in their news feeds. If you're not consistent, like we've said on pretty much every call, only 10% of your friends are actually seeing one post. So if you're not consistent, then they're probably not seeing it. So that's why it's totally okay to overshare. And
I don't know, sorry, Jackie, but like Man Crush Monday, I use my husband a lot, because he doesn't work out, and he's lost 30 pounds on Shakeology since January, so I throw him out there a lot. Anytime he finds a picture and is like, from something, he's like, oh my God, look how fat I was. I'm like, send that to me. Like, send that to me, like, now. And Woman Crush Wednesday, go find your challengers that have had, that have put in the work and that have found, a new self. Find those challengers and introduce them, write about them, get their permission, of course, but use those. So you've got, Transformation Tuesday, Woman Crush Wednesday, Throwback Thursday, and do a Flashback Friday. Don't worry about Flex Friday, do Flashback Friday. I mean, you've got enough, you can make some awesome posts on those 4 days with those things. And don't be afraid to use other people. I use Justin all the time, and I don't care if he likes it or not. I mean, so, and he knows it, because he knows why I'm asking him to send me the pictures. But, that's you showing that, hey, it's not just me, it works for other people too. So,
and that goes for, coaches on our team. If they're sharing their transformation, say, hey, do you mind if I post this, and share their success? We're all on a team together. So Elizabeth asks, what Bible study would you recommend for just starting now? I've been a Christian my whole life, but it hasn't been a focus for a while, and I want it back.
I'm doing Esther right now by Beth Moore. You can go on Lifeway, and of course you have to get the book, but you can go on there and download the sessions for, I think they're like $4.99 a piece, or you can get the bundle for like $32, or you can do it without. I mean, you really don't have to. I like watching them because I like the way that she reviews everything, but you don't have to watch them. You can go through. I actually have been praying about starting a Bible study, and I'm starting one. It's online. It's a Facebook study. We're doing the Famous in Heaven Ain't at Home. And I actually put an ad out on it through my fitness page. I did an ad through I did like a live video where I talked about what I wanted to do and what I was thinking about doing and why I wanted to do it. And I made an ad out of it of my Light page. And I have like 65 members in there now. And we start on Monday. So, it's not, obviously I'm not going to reach out to those people about Beachbody, but to get added to the group, they had to friend me. So for at least 31 days, they're on my friends list, and they're going to see how I tie my faith in with my fitness and with everything else. So, it opens the door a little bit, I mean, not to say that that's the only reason that I did it, but, I wasn't expecting it to blow up the way it did. And it's amazing. I'm very excited about it. So.
That's really cool. That is so cool. Elizabeth, I would say you should join that group. That's a really good book, Famous in Heaven and at Home, if you want to just get your feet wet with a Bible study. And then, like she said, Beth Moore's Bible studies are all really awesome too.
I did just real quick, if you don't mind me sharing, Jackie, I did a free group this month called Confidence and Cardio. And it was more about the confidence than the cardio. I posted a few cardio, workouts, but I pretty much let them tell me what they were going to do, and they had to check in and take a picture of them doing it for that day. But I uploaded the compound effect, and we went through it in 10 days, and everyone loved it. Every single one of them asked me to email it to them, so that, they would have it other ways. But it's opened the door for, a lot of things. It's not about, I would go live in that group and go through the summary, the action steps in the back of the chapter. And it's not about, it doesn't have to be business oriented. I mean, these were things, summary actions, that anyone could apply to any area of their life that they want to make better. So that group was amazing. And it was actually, like I said, more about the book than it was about the cardio. But the book, I had more people staying active. That was my best group. That is the most active participating group that I've done since, free group that I've done. So
Mandy, all your posts, you just went live, or do you have like written out posts?
For the group?
Yeah.
I wrote out some, but when I went over the action steps, I went live.
Okay. Do you have any sort of like template that you could share with the team for that group?
Maybe. I'll look. Like, what do you mean? Like what I outlined, or?
Yeah, like all your posts, like what you maybe talked about in your videos, so that they can
yeah, I can make one.
Recreate something like that.
Yep, I can make one.
Yeah, I think that's one of the best things that I know we've learned recently from like Josh Coates is focusing more on like the internal changes with your challengers versus the external changes, because they can't make any physical changes if they're mentally not in the game. You know what I mean? And so I think that's a huge game changer right there, because first of all, you're attracting people who want to make that mental and emotional change first. And those are the kind of people that you want, on your team as your challengers, because those are the people that are going to be impacted the most. And then obviously you're impacting them in such a more profound way as well. I was going to say something else and now I forgot. Let's see, are there any other questions? Yeah, Kaylin says she hasn't been consistent. Yeah, that's the thing. Mandy has been so consistent, you guys. Like, she shares her Bible study every single morning. She's going live every single day. she is sharing her story 2-3 times a week. Consistency is key, and it really kind of, like she was saying, it keeps her accountable. So like by her sharing her Bible study, it keeps her accountable, saying like, hey, I'm going to be sharing this value with my followers every single day. And it keeps her on track too, so she doesn't fall off. Or, you know, same thing with your workouts. Like put it out there on social media, and it helps keep you just that much more accountable as well.
Yeah, the video diary that Casey and I are doing is so much fun. Like, that is the best way to keep yourself accountable. So find somebody that you can pair up with and do one. I mean, you don't have to maybe not do a whole program, but do a week or so. Well, longer than that, because it's going to take you that long to figure out what time of day you get the most views. But I mean, that's literally kept both of us accountable, and it's helped us push harder because we're maxing out. So I know that I'm online, and I've already told these people that I maxed out at this workout at 15 minutes. So I've got to go longer. And, you know, so like Tabata Power, I maxed out at 2040 today. And I totally would have done better if I didn't have a 25-pound one-year-old come flop on my stomach while I was on my back doing abs. But, you know, I knew my last time was 15 minutes. I had to beat that, and it pushes you because you've already put that out there. You can't just, you know, BS it, and, you know, that's not going to work because you've already put it out there.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And you have to, if you commit to doing something, you just got to keep going no matter what. So Elizabeth says she doesn't know what pictures to post when she talks about internal changes. So, I mean, I would say any old picture of you, because there's gonna, even if it was like I'm always sharing pictures of me from like 8-9 years ago. I don't look completely different or anything like that, but there's a difference in my posture maybe, or the way I'm smiling, how excited I might look. Maybe I'm, you know, like it doesn't have to be like I'll even say in my posts, I know this isn't about a physical change. It's about, you know, an emotional change in who I become and stuff like that. So it doesn't have to be like mind altering, you know, before and after photos. It just has to be you then and you now. And you talk about those internal changes that you've had.
Yeah, I mean, go through some old school photograph albums. I mean, go through some old pictures, scan them and send them to your computer. You know, anything, like if you were a party girl or a sorority sister or a sorority girl, not saying anything's bad with that, but if that was your life, if you were the sorority party girl life in college, you've got pictures. Every sorority girl has pictures. Take that picture of you partying and not having a healthy lifestyle and put it with the one you have now. You know, because they're, you know, who you are now is hard, but doing what you were doing was hard too. I mean, that's, you know, things like that are different. And then that's why I also told you to sit down and write a timeline, because I didn't think I had a story. I told Jackie at Summit, I don't have a story. I'm not reaching anyone. I don't have a story. And I sat down and, oh my gosh, like, if you name it, I've been through it. I mean, like, except for maybe child abuse, but other than that, I've been through it. You know, you name it, I've been there. And I didn't realize that until I actually sat down and made myself go back, because nobody wants to share that. I don't want people to know that I let some guy, you know, just absolutely take every ounce of confidence away from me. I don't want people to know that I would spend my whole paycheck on food because I was throwing it back up. I don't want people to know that I was in rehab, you know, but nobody wants people to know that about themselves. So you kind of bury it so that you don't remember it and you don't think about it. But when you sit down and you start writing it out, you're going to find, oh, wow, you know, like I did. I sat here and cried. When I sat down and wrote down everything that I had been through, I cried. And I literally got on my knees because I should not be alive right now. Everything that I've done since I've turned 16, I shouldn't even be sitting here right now, and I am. And, you know, that's the kind of stuff that you need to post about. I mean, I don't want, and I'm struggling with this too right now because I don't want to throw, I have a lot of people that were friends with my parents, and I don't want to throw the drug use out there, but that was a big deal. And, you know, I was lucky enough that, you know, it was God, because I didn't get addicted. It wasn't something that I had to do. Having said that, as much as I did recreationally for so many years, I'm lucky I'm sitting here alive right now. I mean, those are the things that, you know, and I have to figure out a way to word that, because I just don't want everyone to think that, you know, hey, oh my God, Mandy was a dope head, and then calling up my mom and saying, oh my God, your daughter posted this on Facebook. You know, so, you know, you have to kind of figure out a way to word it, and that's kind of what I'm working on. But I've forgotten about all of that, you know, because nobody wants to go to those places again, but you kind of have to. You have to. And when you write it all out, you're going to see that you've got more struggles and more stories than you thought you did.
Yeah, Mandy is totally right. Like, nobody ever that I talk to thinks they have a story. I didn't think I had a story. Mandy didn't think she had a story. Kaylin didn't think she had a story. And I'm like, you have something in your life that's happened to you. Not every little thing has been picture perfect. If it has, then you must be like some sort of like angel or God or something, because nobody's life is perfect. You've been through some sort of struggle in your life that's made you who you are. And you kind of just have to go back and think about it. The thing that you're doing right now, probably, Elizabeth, is you're comparing your life to Mandy's life right now, or you're comparing your life and your story to, you know, somebody else's story that you saw on social media. You can't compare what you've been through to somebody else. Like, there's no like, oh, she's got such a better story than me. No, it's just her story. Yours is totally different. It may have nothing to do with being in an abusive relationship. It may have nothing to do with losing 30 pounds. And you may have lost 1 pound. You may have never lost any weight in your life. But you've gone through some other sort of challenge that could help and serve somebody else who's been through it. Maybe, like Kaylin said, maybe you've become a more humble person now. Maybe you've worked on yourself as a person, and maybe you're nicer now than you used to be in high school. Like, there's so many different aspects of things that you've learned throughout your life. Maybe becoming a mother, you've learned something. Maybe through, like, I talk about being an athlete all the time, all the things, you know, all the disappointments I had in myself back then, and what I learned from that, you know, different stuff like that. Maybe injuries you've had, or it doesn't have to be like this huge story, like, you know, that you've been through this giant transformation. But the biggest thing is, don't compare what you've been through in your life to somebody else, because it's always going to seem like it's not as good, because that's somebody else's life. It's always more interesting to them or when you're listening to somebody else. But you've gone through something in your life that could help somebody else for sure.
Well, and when I shared my story, you know, about, you know, my first marriage and it being, you know, I got a message from, you know, a girl, like, I really don't even know how we became friends, but, you know, it was a week later, and she messaged me and she's like, I just wanted to tell you that I finally got my kids and myself out of this, you know, this relationship, because I saw your post and I saw that you got through it and that you had the power to change it. And you just, you know, kind of, you know, I mean, I guess maybe just gave her the push. I don't know, but it was amazing, because it doesn't matter how small or how insignificant you think it is. Somebody out there is going through the same thing. Exactly. You know, you're not the first person to go through it, and you're not going to be the last. I mean, everybody goes through different things, but someone else has struggled with the same thing that you have. So, I mean, there's tons of coaches out there that have, you know, overcome eating disorders. I mean, they're not the only one. I mean, it's just, you know, you got to put it out there for them to know what it is. And, you know, then you just got to keep doing it because they're watching and they're waiting to see if you're for real or if you're just blowing smoke and you're going to fall off after a couple of, you know what I mean? So you just gotta put it out there.
Nothing is insignificant. Nothing that's happened in your life is insignificant. It's all led you here. That's something that I've learned.
Mm-hmm.
Even as insignificant as it seems to you, it's not to somebody else. So awesome call, you guys. Awesome questions too. I hope that this was helpful for you. Thank you, Mandy, for sharing
You're welcome.
your journey
and
just being vulnerable. Just you guys be yourself. And I know that's one thing Mandy kind of struggled with. She was like, I feel like I have to fit this cookie cutter image of what a Beachbody coach is or what they should be. And no, like just be you. Just be you. Work on yourself, grow yourself, and share the person that you're becoming. And you don't have to, like, Mandy has a very big personality, which is awesome. I love it. But
very sarcastic personality.
Yeah, and just be yourself because you're gonna find the people that are like you. Like if you are fake, if you're sharing stuff that isn't real, you're gonna attract people and they're gonna expect one thing out of you and you're gonna be different. You know what I mean?
And then you've wasted everybody's time.
Exactly. So just be you and you know, don't, like she said, don't make apologies for being yourself. Be okay with being yourself on social media and just know who you are and share that. That's value to people. People want to get to know you and who you are and what you have to offer them. That's straight up value. And that's really honestly what this whole call has been about, just offering value to people and connecting with them. So thank you, Mandy, for sharing.
Thanks, guys.
We are way over time, so I'm going to let everybody go. But have a great day, and thanks for chatting with us.
Bye.
All right, bye.